Hillary Clinton's campaign manager, John Podesta, attends weird occult dinner parties where blood, semen and breast milk are used in ritualistic ceremony. In an email dated June 28, 2015, performance artist Maria Abramovich wrote to Podesta's brother Tony and said, "I'm so looking forward to the spirit cooking dinner at my place."
We can never be together as long as we have a divider-in-chief in our president, Barack Obama, supporting this woman who's got the FBI crawling all over her. I think that's more important than trying to link Donald Trump to the KKK. How about she's under federal investigation? How about this spirit cooking we're watching in the WikiLeaks? How about this child sex trafficking rings we're reading about in WikiLeaks? That's far more important as to Mrs. Clinton than the KKK.
Theories is not what we need in the last
she's
48
a closet
hours.
racist than the KKK.
Theories.
We're going to have so much time for both of you over the next week.
She's out the closet now.
Okay, Brunel, we got to go. Thank you so much.
All right, YouTube, I decided I'd talk about Podesta's retarded spirit cooking nonsense so that you can get it from an actual occultist as opposed to people who largely they're zealous Abrahamists, the sort of people that believe that a pentagram in a music video makes it an occult ritual. In order to practice the occult, a person has to be astute. They have to have an understanding of the mystic that goes well beyond, I think, the intellectual faculties of somebody like John Podesta. He's an opportunist, he's a materialist, he's in it for the money. This would be the equivalent. If you're going to operate from the assumption this is some sort of ritualism, this is the sort of nonsense that some angsty teen would concoct as an occult ritual, based on a misunderstanding of what actual ritualism is. That being said, what this actually is that you're seeing, and you can look up spirit cooking right on YouTube, you can see footage from this crap. It's performance art.
According to Maria Abramovich, if the ritual is performed in an art gallery, it's merely art. But if the ritual is performed privately, as it was with the Podestas, then it represents an intimate spiritual ceremony.
Okay, Marina was asked in a thread, Ask Me Anything. One fan wrote, "Marina, what place do you see the occult having within contemporary art? Can magic, with a K, be made, not simply appropriated / performed?" And Marina Abramovich responds, "Everything depends on which context you are doing what you are doing. If you are doing the occult magic in the context of art or in a gallery, then it is the art. If you're doing it in a different context, in spiritual circles or private house or on TV shows, it is not art." Does that include music videos with pentagrams in it? Yes. The intention, the context for what it is made and where it is made defines what art is or not. Okay, so Marina Abramovich, or Abramowitch as I call her, she was interviewed by the BBC on BBC Radio 4 Women's Hour. Okay, so why is the performance artist being accused of Satanism? And it goes on to say, how did performance artist Marina Abramovich get mixed up in Hillary Clinton's email leak, which resulted in being accused of Satanism? Well, she got mixed up in it because she actually sent emails to John Podesta, inviting him to a spirit cooking dinner. So let's take a listen to this short clip.
You were accused of Satanism because in one of the emails leaked on WikiLeaks, you had invited Hillary's campaign chairman, John Podesta, to a spirit cooking dinner.
All right, so I have to tell you a little bit of background. This background is very simple. The John Podesta have a brother who is called Tony Podesta. Tony Podesta is my collector since about 30 years of my work. Yes. And also he was supporting my institute, Abramowitch Marina Institute for Long Durational Performance Art. And as one of the donors to the institute, I invite him together with another 10 people to participate in the dinner. Spirit cooking dinner, it was a title of a very joyful dinner with different courses. But in the same time, spirit cooking relate to my early work from the 90s, where I actually used to use pig blood to create big graffitis on different museums, and even the MoMA have a collection of my artist book on the same title, Spirit Cooking. But basically, spirit cooking is a poetry. I just give you one example of that spirit cooking. Let's say one example will be take 13 fresh green leaves of the cabbage, mixed with the 13,000 grams of pure jealousy, cook in an iron pot till the all water evaporate, and eat just before attack. But I also have this stuff like this, mix sperm milk together with breast milk and eat in earthquake nights, or cut into the finger of your middle hand and eat the pain. So this was taken, this spirit cooking, yes. It was leaked to the John Podesta was also invited for this dinner.
When this world, your world, meets Twitter, all hell breaks loose, doesn't it?
It's incredible, and my entire performance thing as a kind of satanic event. It's very unpleasant because right now I have to change my email. My credit cards are completely,
Oh, it's not funny for you at all.
It's like the entire world crashed on this because I'm in every single news, and even in the tweet of the Mr. Trump. So basically, they use this against this election.
You are not a Satanist.
Oh, I'm definitely not a Satanist. You can say anything from me, but I'm not a Satanist, I'm not racist, I'm not any of these things.
So, interesting there how she equates Satanism and racism in the same basket, but nevertheless. So this is a quote from Marina herself. In spirit cooking, Marina uses pig's blood, which most resembles human blood, as a medium to connect the spirit world with the material world. So this is as above, so below. Okay, and it comes from Aleister Crowley's rituals, where they have these things called cakes of light. So it's otherwise known as a sacrament, just like the Catholic Church. The sacrament is meant to symbolise the union between the microcosm and the macrocosm, so man and divine, as above, so below. So she's doing the same thing as Aleister Crowley did in the 19th century. The consumption of the cake of light is a fulfilment of the sacred circle of the connection between man and the divine. The ceremony of spirit cooking is the modern rendition of the 19th and 20th century rituals of the cake of light. Now, what it's going on about here, these rituals, is the Aleister Crowley rituals. One of them's called the Gnostic Mass, the other one is the Mass of the Phoenix. Now, the Gnostic Mass is basically based on the Catholic Church. So if you've seen my other video, the Jesuit treason of the 5th of November, I go into it, and I go into this connection about the Gnosticism in the Catholic Church, and I speak about Aleister Crowley as well. So if you haven't seen that one, check that one out. So this is from Aleister Crowley's The Book of the Law, which was dictated to him by some alien entity or spirit entity, demonic, whatever you want to call it. He did this when he was at the pyramids in Egypt. So the actual cakes of light here: for perfume, mix meal and honey, thick leavings of red wine, then oil of abramelin and olive oil, and afterwards soften and smooth down with rich fresh blood. The best blood is of the moon, monthly, which means menstrual blood, then the fresh blood of a child. The occult people that write these kind of things will insist that a child doesn't actually mean an actual child. It could be someone of adult age, if you don't have any children to do it. You know, it's pretty disgusting. And Aleister Crowley was a Satanist, an occult black magician. So this here is Marina Abramovich's Twitter. Just go have a look at this. Here's an interesting tattoo with the triangle and an eye inside it and a symbol of the sun. So check this post out. I'm not a Satanist, stop it. So she says that she's not a Satanist, but yet she has 666 in her Twitter handle. So if you remember the clip that I played for you earlier, you can see a common theme here. Now we see that this guy, Styx Hexenhammer 666, he by his own mouth said that he's an actual occultist. So are we to assume that actual occultists have 666 in their online handles? It should be noted that Aleister Crowley himself referred to himself as the Great Beast 666. So, with Crowley having 666 in his name, this guy, Styx Hexenhammer 666, and then you have Marina Abramowicz, who also has 666 in her online handle, copying Aleister Crowley, who is without doubt a black magician and an occult Satanist. And there we have Rebel Heart and some drawing. But yeah, the rebel, Satan himself is the rebel. And there we have Saturn represented here, which is also symbolic of Satan. You know, it's people, artists like this that are the cause of young teenagers these days have an obsession with the occult and everything that's kind of dark, an obsession with blood, and they cut themselves as self-harmers, and that's pretty much what she is, a self-harmer in the name of art. Her very first art performance was to stab her own hand with a knife, and I'm sure you'll recognise the similarity between her performance and this movie.
Do the thing with the knife. Please. Oh, come on, yeah. You should do it, man. This is great.
What is wrong with the world that we live in? We live in an age where something like this can be called art. We're back in Aleister Crowley's days. He was labelled by the media as the wickedest man in the world. Today, a flat-out disciple of Crowley is defended by the media, and it's been swept under the carpet that this is anything to do with Satanism or the occult, and that it's just art, and anybody who says otherwise is just crazy and not normal. This world is truly reversed or upside down from what is normal. Now, just to go back to the quote at the beginning of the video, the hankering of the mind, I can't help but feel that we've all been sold a dummy, where we're shown this mystery and we all follow along and promote this person's work, talk about her, so that she's absolutely everywhere. I can't help but think that this is just a concealed mystery to get our minds taken over, because lo and behold, she just happens to have a new book coming out